In today's video, we're going to talk about all the SPL arms we recommend for your R35 GT-R. Welcome back, everyone. This is Joe at Forge, where I share my passion for creating, building, and racing high-performance vehicles. On this channel, I do a lot of how-to guides on custom fabrication, product reviews from the vendors that support our builds, as well as toss in some behind-the-scenes vlogs to show you guys what goes on here at Forge Performance. So if you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And if this is the type of content that you are interested in, please consider subscribing. Now let's get on to the video. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Joe at Forge. We're going to do another unboxing video for you today with SPL Pro Suspension components. So we've been doing track day GTRs for over a decade now. The owner of Forge Performance, Sharif Abdel-Bassett, that's how we made a name for ourselves in the GTR community. He bought a GTR way back 2009, one of the first ones available, and went out and raced it in the Redline Time Attack series. So we have a lot of experience with setting up road course GTRs. Now we're getting a lot further in the drag race program, and we've been highlighting that in the last few videos. But our bread and butter is road course GTR. So we have a new customer that came from a previous shop with a build that was kind of built for drag racing, and he's a road racer. He really liked the car, but he wanted us to convert it to a road race spec. So SPL is, in our opinion, the only way to go on the GTR platform. And Donut Media recently did a video on their high-low series, talking about SPL components versus kind of the cheap stuff and the level of adjustability that SPL gives you versus some of the cheaper components. And we'll link you to that video in the video description below. They did a great job on it. But we're going to focus in on the GTR. So what you see on the table here, all these white boxes, is all the major components that we typically do on a GTR build. There are some bushings and stuff that we aren't doing on this car. We're kind of doing the basics of what we know works, and then you can always build from there. So in the first box we're going to open up is the upper control arms in the front. I'm gonna have Bobby kind of open these up as we go. So as you can see here, this is the replacement for the upper control arm. It's all black anodized, comes with some instructions, has titanium hardware for all the lockouts. And this arm has a removable pillow ball mount, all pillow balls. And then the way this is designed, I can change camber and caster on the front arm. And on a GTR, to get that high-speed stability, you want to add just about as much front camber or front caster as you can get away with. So that's really what these arms do. And then we'll go on to the next box. All right, so in the next box, we have the lockout kit. So what the lockout kit allows you to do is get rid of the adjustable eccentric bolts on the rear suspension. So on the rear from the factory, that's how you adjust toe and rear camber, and those things are prone to move, especially under race conditions. So what these lockouts do, it puts a square block where that eccentric bolt would go normally, and you just change out all those bolts. So it locks out that factory adjustment, so the only way you can adjust the suspension is with the SPL adjustable components. So we'll move into the next box, which will be the traction arms. And let me cut one of these open here. And just to give you guys an idea, we use all these same components in a drag suspension setup. They're just set up entirely differently when you're doing it for drag. So this is the high clearance traction arm. So this is the part of the suspension that accepts all the loading of the power. This is how you apply the power to the ground. And these are high clearance for really wide wheels. So we use these in drag racing as well as road racing when you're trying to get the right offsets. The factory arm is straight here. Has a little bit of a kink, but it's not enough. And then there's some traction arms that are out there that are just straight. Some original SPL arms were made straight, but we've learned over the years to do the setups the way we like to do them. We just go for the high clearance arm right from the beginning. And then you can also adjust the length of this arm to get a traction advantage on the traction arm to basically extend that pivot point out. So you have the traction arm, and then we'll move on to the camber arm, which is the lower camber. The upper rear control arm is left alone, that's stock. Again, the SPL's gone to an all design. All these are billet parts. Originally, these were made out of like chromoly. Great. I mean, even on my drag car, I still run their older chromoly stuff and never had a problem with it. But these are very well made, anodized, to have all the titanium hardware on them to keep them as light as possible. You have all the lockout adjustments. And then, you know, the lockouts go at this end. And then you extend and retract the arm here to get the camber where you want it to be. And then the last one in the rear will be the tow arm. As Bobby's opened that, the tow arm is, you know, pretty much what it thinks. So as you adjust all this stuff where you raise and lower the car, it changes how the camber and the tow is. So once you get all that set, you need to get the tow in alignment. And you know, you have the lockouts back here where the eccentrics used to be, and then you adjust the toe in and out like that. And it's all custom made rod ends, titanium hardware. It's a great piece. So these are our main bread and butter suspension components. And then obviously we put the coilover suspension on there and dial it in for the race car alignment. So what we'll show you next after, since we did a little bit of an unboxing here, we're not going to show you taking all the suspension components off, but I'll show you what this all looks like when it's put all back onto the car, so you can get an idea of where all these arms actually live on the car. And then we'll give you a little bit more of an insight as to how we align these things for the track. All right, guys, we did the unboxing video over on the bench there. I want to show you where all these arms go on the car and show you what the difference between the SPL and OEM is. So the first arm that we do is with the traction arm that goes in the front of the car. This basically applies the power from the wheel and tire. Already factory wheel and tire, but as you can see, this on the car from SPL actually is more wider wheel and tire combo, whether you're on a large track wheel with slicks, or you're on a drag wheel or a drag. The drag car guys. As you can see, that's how this one mounts. You can also, with this arm, adjust the length. And that's something that's important to gain additional traction. You can actually extend that. Now you can only go so far with it on a U car, but we can play with some of the settings on Motec or other aftermarket cars to be able to get that pushed back and not mess with a lot of the factory VDC. All right, so the next arm, this would be the toe link arm. This is the arm that goes basically here on the car. Now let Emilio get in there with the camera. And what the toe link is, that's pretty straightforward. That is the arm that controls the toe in or toe out as you raise and lower your vehicle. And as you can see on the factory arm, this is not adjustable. So especially on a lowered vehicle, this is one of the things that will start to become out of spec. There is adjustment with an eccentric bolt back there, but we do lockout kits, so we have complete control over the suspension with just using the SPL adjusters. Not have to worry about the eccentric bolt moving in racing conditions. So that's your traction link. And then finally, you have your camber arm, which sits here at the bottom. And that controls camber for the wheel. And again, on a lowered car, depending on how you're doing it, that can pull itself out of alignment spec based off of the ride height of the vehicle and a few other conditions. So, and as you can see on the factory arm, there's no adjustment on this arm. There's just an eccentric there that's been deleted by our lockout kit, and now we're only using the adjusters on the SPL arm itself. All right, so moving around to the front, really on the SPL, the upper control arm, which we'll get some close-up shots here. This is the factory arm. And as you can see on the factory arm, there's a 0 adjustment point on this piece. With the SPL arm, we can adjust the length essentially of this forward arm and the rear arm. And as you can see there, the forward arm is extended and the rear arm is drawn in. So that allows us to affect a pretty significant caster change. So we can control camber and caster with this one arm. And then toe is just controlled by the factory tie rod ends. SPL does offer a drop link kit, so you can get better bump steer correction, but we opted not to do that on this car because the ride height isn't significantly changed. We just need to be able to go beyond the factory adjustment points for the alignment specs we do on our track cars. All right guys, well, that pretty much wraps up the SPL control arms that we run on both our drag cars and our track day cars. We'll do lockouts and some of their solid spherical bushings and a lot of the suspension pickup points when we take it to the next step, but this is pretty much the basic package that we recommend for all GTRs, R35 GTRs, either their drag or track, and we just use different alignment settings to fit the need of the application. So if you have any additional questions about alignment specs or how to set up your car for track day or for drag, you can always call us here at the shop or email us at sales@forgeperformance.com. And until then, we'll see you on the next video.